Hey guys, my name is Cold Plunge Cam. If you are not familiar with me, you can follow me on my Instagram at Cold Plunge Cam. I do everything cold exposure related. I love to sit out in the river, in the lakes, in the winter, and I've been doing that for a few years now and sharing my journey with that and with mental health. And today, we're going to be reviewing the Desert Plunge. Let me know in the comments what other questions you have about this and about the setup, the process, my experience, anything. Happy to answer all of them. I do have a link, a coupon code for you, and let me know what you think, guys. When everything is unpacked, this is what we have. We have the 1/4 horsepower chiller, and it's really important that you keep this face up. If you don't, you're supposed to set it upright for at least 3 hours prior to use. So that's important to just keep this box upright as you're unboxing, unpackaging, etc. And then we have the pumps, the filter, the tubes. There's a GFI adapter. Away we go. All right, we're back. And the bad boy is all set up now. It's good to go. It only took probably 18 hours to get the temperature down from about 70 degrees down to 42 where I had set it at. Overnight it had already gotten down to about 50. So temperature is at 43. It is set to 42. There's about a 1 to 2 degree differential between what you set it at and what the water ends up being at. So if you want your water at 42, it's probably good to set it at 40, 41 degrees just to put some buffer into that differential. And they make the setup process pretty easy with the numbers on here and everything. So even if you didn't have a manual, it becomes pretty clear. You know, there's a 6 marked on here, there's a 5 marked on here. It's becomes pretty easy to understand. So the Ozone, they tell you to run just for 2 hours a day. You don't necessarily want the Ozone to be running while you're in the unit, and so it only needs 2 hours. And so I have mine set with the timer that they have here for 12 to 2 a.m. So when I'm gonna be asleep, right? And so this is really nice because they have the timer for the Ozone. And so I have my timer set here, and you'll see from these little switches on here that I have 2 push down from midnight, which is where the moon is, to 1 a.m. And then all these other little notches are pulled up. I have this set to timer right here. And so the Ozone is gonna run just from 12 to 2 a.m. Now the other really nice part about this is the power supply box, kind of the power bank that they have all of the plugs. There's 3 of them that are in this power supply box. So you really only, at the end of the day, you really only need 1 outlet to plug everything into. The chiller, the pump, the Ozone, you only need 1 plug, which is super cool. So let me show you that real quick. That's this box right here. This is gonna be the power supply. I mean, I'm calling it the power supply box, but this is where they provide a power bank here for all the things that need to be plugged in. So like I mentioned, chiller, pump, Ozone, and then this all comes out through, you know, power bank here, and then that can plug in over on the side here where I have mine plugged into an extension cable. But everything is just, you know, it just goes through the one plug, which is super nice. So I also have, you know, there's a sprinkler in the backyard here. Everything's kind of getting hit a little bit, but that's okay because it's pretty well, you know, waterproofed. You don't really have anything to worry about. Here's the chiller, and like I mentioned before, there's numbers on all these, so it becomes pretty clear, right, what needs to plug into where. So that part's super nice. This Grizzly cooler, it's got 2, you know, super durable, super strong latches that can lock into place there, right? That's not going anywhere. Safety latch and the Ozone piece right here. So this is the Ozone pipe here that you just kind of leave there. And then this is the safety latch that they have that has a little notch on the back there. So now that since it's all the way extended, I can't pull this down. And so, you know, when I'm ready to close it again, this is gonna get pulled up. It's hard to do with one hand because you kind of have to push. You kind of have to push on the door at the same time, which I can't do. So I'm gonna try and push back with my head. Anyways, you get what I mean. There, that comes up like that, and then I pull this closed. There we go. It's hard to, like I said, hard to do with one hand, but then that can all close into place. It's just so convenient because a big part of cold exposure, and you've seen it from my page, a big part of cold exposure is just the mental fortitude to get you in the unit. And so if something becomes more difficult to get your setup going, right? To fill up a tub, to have to go get ice, to figure out a hose setup on the balcony of your apartment, or, you know, there's just so many things that are going to become obstacles to get you in the way. And so if you can remove all of those entirely, it becomes so much easier to make this a habit that is just going to last day after day after day. And so that's one of the reasons I love this, especially in the warm months. You know, I haven't used this in the winter yet, but right now when it's getting really hot outside, this is extremely energy efficient, right? Extremely energy efficient. The Grizzly cooler is insulated, and it's just a great setup. If you're not following me on my Instagram, I'm posting there most often, almost every day. That's where I have most of my audience, and appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And we do this for health. We do this for mental health. We do this for mindset, for motivation, and love you guys, and we'll talk soon.